John gets $8 more allowance than Yenni each week. Every week, each of them spends $36 on food and saves the rest. When John saves $108, Yenni would have saved $60. So how many weeks does John take to save $108? Alright, so looking at this question, it looks like a before change after concept if you notice. Why? Because the allowance would be what you receive at the beginning. Alright, so this acts like the before. Each of them spends $36 on food. So whatever they spend is the change. Okay, and they save the rest. So whatever is saved is the after. Now, if you notice, the question says that every week each person spends $36 on food. In other words, they both spend the same amount of money every week. All right, which means that the change for each person is the same. Right? So the change is the same for both of them. So if the change is the same, it also means that the difference in allowance at the start will be the same as the difference in the savings at the end. Okay, so we learned this in the before change after concept. We learned this in ratio before also. Okay, unchanged difference concept. All right, so when both persons experience the same change, they spend the same amount of money each week, difference in the end in the savings is equal to the difference in the allowance at first. Alright, so once we understood this, we established this already, we can now go on to work with the savings first. Why? Because the savings, the values are provided. So I will be interested in the difference in savings. Okay, so we call this total difference in savings. We don't know how many weeks yet. Alright, we don't know how many weeks it takes for these two of them to save up this much respectively. Hence, we call it the total difference. So difference will be 108 minus $60. Now, do I know the savings per week? Yes, we do. Why? Because if the difference in allowance every week is $8 difference, it also means the savings difference per week is also $8 because of this logic that we discussed earlier. Whatever difference in allowance is the same as the difference in savings because of the unchanged difference concept here. So every week, the difference between their savings is also $8. Now, but of course, 1 week is not enough for them to create a difference of $48 savings. Hence, this is where you work on the number of weeks. Okay, so we want to find out how many weeks it took for them to save up a difference of $48. So this is where you take the total difference divided by the difference per week to get the number of weeks. So 6 weeks is your answer. So 6 weeks to create a difference of $48, which also means 6 weeks for John to save $108, which also means 6 weeks for Yenni to save $60. Okay, so let's go on to part B. Now, how much allowance does John get each week? All right, so we are working towards per week now, allowance per week for John. Okay, so right now what we gotta do is okay, looking at what we have so far, we have 6 weeks. This will be very, very helpful to us. What we know is that throughout these 6 weeks, John has saved up $108. Okay, then there you go. You can go on to find out how much he saved per week. All right, so let's write that down first. So savings in 6 weeks is $108. Hence, I go on to find in 1 week, how much does he save? He saves $18 in 1 week. Okay, now anything else that we know? So far we know that each of them spends $36 on food. So we are going to work backwards, okay? Because whatever is your allowance at first is made up of your spending and your savings. We already have the saving in 1 week. And we know in the same 1 week, he spends $36 on food. Hence, I can find out the allowance for each week. So like I said, allowance is made up of spend plus save. You have the spend 36, you have to save $18. You are going to add these two up. And that would be your $54 allowance for John in 1 week.